All right.
Hunter x Hunter, chapter 347, episode 138. And let's go ahead and let's go ahead and go to the episode. I'm going to try to do that. I know I do it the reverse with Naruto, but let's go ahead and do the episode this week. And let's see. Now, the episode 138, I entitled Give Me Your Brain. And, oh my gosh. Well, first we had the recap. Let me go ahead and there. I'll try to stop as I do each one of these. Okay, first we had the recap. It's Gon's motivation. Somebody's making noise on why he isn't like trying to ask for anything. I mean, Beans is so totally impressed with him because he's getting. I mentioned all this last week. He's getting Netero's will, and he's not like personally benefiting from it. But he comes back and he says it's not a big deal or anything. It's any con artist can do it. But this was what really was loved about this. He says, if I can get my target to move as I want, I've succeeded as a hunter. And I think that was just for Pariston. I don't think that had really to do with the other Zodiacs. I think that was targeting, as we can tell, pretty much on Pariston.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's I love that, by the way. That was such a good. We all had a good time with that scene last week. And then right in the beginning, Pariston pushes Kanzai's buttons. You know, the tiger Hiei looking dude, and Kanzai starts to throw down. And then Genta, the sheep, throws his whole body like he's a big dude, right in front of him, right in between him. You know, kind of protecting Pariston, or, you know, however you want it. But he put his whole body there. And then Monkey, Seiyu, however you pronounce his stuff, and Snake, Garo, they like gesture. They put like, you know, they're like the snake or a staff in front of it. And so I'm like, you know, I'm wondering if and these are people that have yelled at Pariston. I'm wondering if any of them, if they were all just doing it to keep the peace, or if they're really actually on Pariston's side. There may be something like that, especially Genta. I'm kind of suspicious of that guy. And then also there was Mazastom, the cow, or I guess the ox. I guess is probably a better one. And although I'm pretty sure he's not. That would be crazy if he's actually on Pariston's side. That would be, I don't know how you could. That'd be nuts. But does anybody want to have any interest so far on who may not be as they seem in the Zodiacs, or do we just want to go ahead and move on?
Um, I think like when they all had that, like I think I said this before, like the people that was speaking in that meeting when they have all the Zodiacs on that table when I had that meeting,
Yeah.
it looked like all the people that was speaking out against Pariston, they really are against Pariston, and the ones that's like staying quiet and observing, kind of like either on Pariston's side or like supporting certain requests Pariston may have in the future or during. So I guess as you can see, like whoever's not speaking is for Pariston, and whoever is speaking out against Pariston is against Pariston.
So okay. So just you're saying take more of the regular route. You know, if they're just keeping their mouth shut, they might actually be his ally.
Yeah.
Okay, and even Cheadle. Let me throw this in here. Cheadle wishing Gin was there to counter Pariston, and because I mean Pariston's and I say this, a human manipulator. Pariston, it's like an S level, it's top level, and she's talking to Pariston. She's like, he is a beast that cannot be tamed. So she's wanting, you know, Gin there to counter.
Yeah, she knows she's out of her league with Pariston.
Exactly.
And the only person that can keep up with Pariston is Ging.
Right. Exactly. Anybody else got anything to throw in there, or we just keep going? Okay, I'll keep going. Did Netero really just pick Pariston because he wanted someone to hate, or was it like, what was the old saying? Keep your friends close and keep your enemies even closer. You know, was is this a big strategy, or is it just like Netero, Gin, Pariston? There's just a lot of these personality types that just for whatever just want to stir things up to have fun. Is it just Netero's personality was like that?
It it looked like he don't want nobody to be a yes man around him. He wants somebody to like go against him whatever issue or whatever topic Netero has. So it looked like Pariston was like that perfect fit. Like he knows I guess Netero knows how manipulative parent is,
Right.
and it's kind of worked perfectly with him, but everybody doesn't like that.
Right. That sounds good. Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. Well, I'm assuming we can always go back on this, but I'm assuming a lot of people are waiting for the Aluka stuff. Something I noticed is that the Aluka was so much creepier in the manga,
Yeah,
and here it's not as creepy, and I'm actually way more sympathetic to Aluka in the anime. So it still is creepy. I mean, don't get me. There's plenty of creepy there.
do you mean dangerously creepy or like, oh, I'm gonna stay away from this type creepy?
All the above. It's just the manga made it just like holy cow, you know. Whoa, how did we go this far?
Luca that's creepy. It's his ability that's creepy.
So,
The ability is really detailed and really sadistic. It's like,
well, it's another personality though. There's two personalities there.
no, but even before the other personality emerges, regular Aluka is like compelled to ask you a request based on the wish that she granted last time, whatever. So those requests, like what he said to the maid, your liver, your whatever, and your spine, like that's part of his power. It's like because of his power, that's why he's even asking. And that's before he transforms.
Well, I mean, just to be honest, the manga itself and the anime don't always. Anyway, it looks much darker and more sinister to me in the manga. And like I said, just exactly what I said before. It's more. It's not quite as bad. So it makes it to me more sympathetic in the anime. Now we get the stuff with Killua and his father. It's about Aluka, right? But I love the whole thing. He went ahead and made his thumb bleed, right? He bit it, and he holds it up, and I'm like, okay, where's this going? And then you have like the little mini flashback or whatever of his father. And it's been pointed out by other people. It seems the father at least portrays a little more humanity or some kind of connection to his son, which the rest of his family just seemed to prey on him. And so I actually loved that. It was like a Zoldyck moment, some kind of humanity, father and son, kind of thing. And so I really did like that. And then the whole thing about Mike, the guard wolf, or I guess magical beast. I'm assuming it's a magical beast that they have there.
Yeah.
And but that makes Mike being there, the magic, the guard wolf, or I guess magical beast. I've said this before. Other people have said it and everything. I think that the ability of Aluka or that other persona is from the Dark Continent, or Aluka is just from the Dark. I mean, there's something Dark Continent connection there. It seems like. So to me.
What made it so like had a serious moment when Silva and what is it, Kalua, when they was going to see Aluka, they had all these doors, and he was doing all the paths.
Yeah, before we get to the doors, let me just make sure we clarify this because I kind of didn't go all the way with this. The father, the father and son thing. Remember, it was about betraying. Don't never betray your friends, right? And then gone is dying. So I mean, it's like, Dad, you made me a blood oath to swear not to betray my friends. How can I turn my back on my best friend? So I'm just to close that out. Okay, and then we get to the doors, right? Which is anybody seen Get Smart? Show?
Yeah.
With all the doors closing,
Yep.
It was like that. Okay, Sean, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, please.
Oh no, I was saying that it was like the further he was going, like he knew like all the passwords, and it was all different. And then I guess Kalu was getting more irritated because it was like, what's the point of all of this? That's what I was getting.
Well, he got guilty. Remember. Okay, when he went through the doors, he had this guilt because he's like, oh my God, I left my little brother, sister, to him sister, right? I guess he keeps my little sister here in this in this, like, totally isolated from other human beings. And then it brings up the whole Illumi thing. Is it because Illumi was controlling me that I just lost connection or touch? So, it's all this whole family manipulation stuff's pretty effed up. So before we get into the rules of Aluka, is there anything so far anybody wants to bring up or clarify or whatever?
It's just that the family is afraid of Aluka.
Yeah.
I mean, Silver even goes as far to say that it's not his child; it's a monster.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just goes to show you like what a powerful character or what a powerful power, Aluka has. And I don't know if it's related to the Dark Continent. I suppose Togashi could connect it to that. But we need to, find out more about the origins of Aluka. I mean, if she was really just born from, Killua's mother, then, why is his power so different? Why is their power so different? And if not, if he did come from the Dark Continent, then how? That would be really good for Togashi to expand on in future chapters.
And one of the things I love about this episode is right when he was saying this, that Aluka isn't humans from somewhere else. From somewhere else, right? It says not human from somewhere else. Pan up to the ceiling, and there's like these faces, like these faces out of the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, whoa, okay. So, and then we go through all the rules, right, to explain, which I'm sure are laid down to explain more. And I kind of jotted it down, but they're not that clear, huh?
I'm saying we haven't even gotten to the rules yet. Killua knows more rules than what we actually saw this episode.
Well, right here, remember, when they go in there, before he gets to see his sister, the father's like, what are the rules? And that starts the flashback and everything. That starts all the stuff about how, because that's what Togashi uses to go back there. And he's like, well, it's just gonna. He's like, look, calm down. If you can't calm down, then this is over. We're turning back. So he makes him go ahead and do that. But it was great because it does. We get to see what Luca's abilities, and like different things are like never ask anything, any requests from the parents. What kind of kid is this? That should throw alarm bells. This is the only kid in the world that never asks requests from the parents, right? So.
I mean, and it shows Silver's love for Killua, because he didn't want Killua to go in there simply because he didn't want Killua to get hurt. He's like, what are the rules? Tell me the rules, because like if you don't know the rules, you're not going in there. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah, I like it. Well, it is distinct because his brother's just trying to treat him like a puppet. And and speaking of inhumanity, how about Illumi and his mom both using butlers to test Aluka's abilities?
Yeah.
Illumi's like, can I use one of the butlers? Can I be the next one to experiment over there with Aluka? And, yeah, go ahead. Oh my gosh. Brutal.
I don't even think Illumi used one of their servants, because he said if you complete the test, then like both you and your lover will be fine. So I think he might have just kidnapped a woman and her lover and said, if you don't do this, you're both going to die.
Well, remember there was two that died, and the other one was a butler. If I remember correctly in the episode, when they blew up, she blew up, and then another person, we don't even know if it's a man or a woman, that was with, or let me put it this way, that was with the butlers. May have been a butler, maybe not, but it was a person that was with them. So maybe that person wasn't a butler, it was just waiting.
That other person was a loved one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that's the key point. It's a loved one. But that was after, okay, let me see. I just have some stuff jotted down. Satisfy 3 Aluka requests, or is it 4? I think it's 3 or 4. I can't remember the number. But anyway, the bigger the wish, the harsher it is for the next person, right? And refuse Aluka's request, and that person dies, and their loved one, a minimum of 2 people die, that person and the loved one, right? But after a big wish, they said at least 67 people died that had refused Aluka. So that's what they know of. And I love that. I love the example. You know how they use in anime the little quick kind of examples. They showed Aluka, and they showed like a person in an expensive car because they made a big wish, like they millions of dollars or something. So they in this expensive car, and Aluka's waving at him, goodbye. you know. But they're like, oh no, it's the next person. It's the one that you were talking about. Give me your liver. Give me your duodenum. That's the first section of the small intestine. I looked it up. Give me your spine, and then give me your brain. So, yeah, kind of need all those things. So that then it showed the little example, people running away from the request. So, but also it was heartbreaking, and of course, but anyway, a couple of things to point out here that definitely Killua was there for, and definitely knows more of the rules than anybody else, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, that's kind of a given. So he knows more rules. We know this.
Yeah.
And to me, it was really. And then the last note I have on this is it's heartbreaking to see how Luca was isolated like that. You know, I don't know about you guys. When I was small, from time to time, I had to spend a lot of time alone, and it's crushing.
Yeah.
Really, really sucks. Really sucks. I have a lot of empathy for that kid being locked in a freaking cell like that. All right, let's open this up. What do you think about the episode? Anything we can cover again, expand upon?
At least she had toys to play with.
She had a lot of dolls. Or lonely or whatever. I mean, the only one that seemed to Kite was the only one that seemed to really find a good way, because Kite would get swords and start jumping around with the dolls and stuff. But this one just seemed totally bummed out. You know? It was just abandonment. I just hate that abandonment stuff. So anyway, like I say, guys, anything about? Hey, Anthony.
What's going on?
Hey, not much. I just saw that you showed up. Excellent. Glad you made it. Yeah, we're at the end of the episode.
Yeah, I can see that. You guys flew through it pretty fast.
Yeah. Well, you know. So, was there? Well, anyway, let's go ahead. Like I said, this is opening up the episode. Unless you guys just want to jump into the chapter. Was there anything about the episode, Anthony, you wanted to open up real quick, or?
I just want to say I enjoyed it. I understood it a lot better in the anime. I remember when I first read it in the manga, I had to read this chapter like 4 times. All the explanation with her abilities or how they work, or his, whatever the gender is.
Yeah, and there was something else too, which actually goes in a little bit in the chapter and everything. And Michael Guthrie, we were talking before this started, is sometime the dialogue. One thing is a criticism. Sometimes the dialogue gets a little confusing. It's hard to tell who's saying what. So at least the anime's it just clarifies that. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that goes for all
pretty much anything.
anime adaptations, because text bubbles aren't always extremely obvious of who they're coming from. Which I think it's just a problem with manga in general and comics.
That does sound right. All right. Well, is there anything about the anime before we jump into the chapter?
Killua reveals that he wants to think of Aruka as his little brother or sister. I think what he said.
Sister. Yeah, because he always refers to her as a girl.
And he's afraid. Well, I don't know if he did in this episode, but I know that he does refer to Aruka as a girl, and the family refers to him as a boy. But it's just that we see that Killua wants to think of her as family. He doesn't want to think of her as a thing, which is probably the reason why he has those special rules with Aruka that we'll see in the next episode. But whoa.
Yeah, some feedback or something.
And so I mean, that was just good, to see some character background for Killua there, and I like how when Aruka was a kid, that Killua handled her so easy. They show it, he was the first one to discover the powers and the first one to know instinctively, as a brother, how to take care of it. So that will play a part in the next episode when we see Killua interact with her again.
All right, now we're getting to the next episode, but I like that. I like the fact that we already saw the way that Illumi is wanting to get involved with the younger sibling, and we have already seen how cold-hearted Illumi is, right? So the way he's done Killua, so we can already see that this isn't going to go this does not look like it's going to go well. All right, let's go ahead and hop into the chapter. Let's go ahead and go to 347. And this, everybody's got their chapters open. If you want, you don't have to. And we go ahead and get started. What is that written on the side of Mohawk Guy's head? I love you or something? What is that? Does anybody ever understand what that is?
It looked like the first letter is a J.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but he definitely loves it enough where he wants everybody to know about it. So, option. So let me go ahead and like I say. So, option 5. the fail. You know, the hunter exam fails. Backup reserve emitters create nin guns and start firing away. Now, I really want to get some feedback here. What did you guys think of when this started? I didn't. Did you guys think this was already a setup, or did you think these guys were just?
Guys were going to die.
That's what I thought. These two guys are screwed.
So they've decided they've had it. You know, they seemed pissed when they went in there, and I love this. I'm going to jump to on Mega Stream on page 3, but anyway, I like the devastation and that they're running. Okay, and I still didn't. And the other ones are definitely not in on it, right? So, like the other, support guys like the cooks and
the other hunters.
Yeah, the other hunters, the ones that did just come back, and it was, and then the whole thing of the, what's the guy's name here? Let me back up here just a moment. Okay, let me get rid of this.
I would have loved to see like a Dragon Ball Z moment here, like firing all the bullets and then Jin just standing there like with the Nen bullets bouncing off of him or something, and you look and Pariston's not there, and then Pariston is suddenly like behind them or something, and Pariston knocks them out. That would have been so cool because you've been like, what the hell did Pariston do, and how did Jin reflect those those shots or whatever? That would have gave them so much hype. You know, like I would have loved something like that instead of seeing them run from the bullets.
They already have hype and they ain't even use their abilities. So imagine when they actually use their abilities. I'm already excited for them.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You wouldn't see what the abilities are. You would just like wonder, like, what the hell did they do? And it would just be more awesome later on. But
right. I mean, even though we got to see some, I thought we would. I'm sitting there like, they're running, okay, I kind of get that, and they're going to turn and they're going to blow these guys away. So it was, I mean, because these two guys are supposed to be top tier, right?
Right.
So I was like, okay, that's what's going to happen, and it looked like that was what was going to start to happen. And so they're in there, and then he does the ability with Leorio, and he uses his ability. And, well, anyway, we roll back here. The elf-looking dude, Mohair, he's like, seal the exits, corner them. So he's totally in charge, and he's running everything. And then, like I said, we get to Leorio's ability, and then the way he breaks it down, right? It was amazing. He's sitting there like, why? I mean, he's like, Leorio was, since he's medical, right? He was probably trying to experiment with this, and if you could perfect this, then you could basically find like tumors and clots and destroy them from the outside, right?
Yep.
That was amazing because he's sitting there like, that's probably why he's doing it. He's probably, and then I can improve upon it this way. And he says, and he tells him, he says, if I get hit, if I take a hit with a strike type ability, just once, I can imitate it. Now, personally, we've seen Gan lie time again, Pariston too, and I really don't think that he would tell Pariston the whole truth of anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a lot of bullshit, but still, watching the ability, that was pretty amazing.
It was epic.
And then when he knocked out, when he used it to go through the walls to see him, and they actually showed like silence, so he could see they're there, and he took them both out. That was just amazing. And then the look on Pariston's face when Gan was totally not fooled, and he knew it was a setup, and he was just trying to find out what Gen's abilities were. That panel, he keeps happening again and again. That panel of Pariston, these eyes, and he just, what was he? He said Gin is the first person he really hates.
Yeah.
But then again, like I say, he's the people he loves. That's not exactly a good thing either, is it? And then he goes in here and he goes to. Well, I'm gonna read from my notes. We can totally go back over. There's a lot to cover in here. Gin was. This is what we were talking about before. Gin is mocking the elf dude's lines or his delivery. I never not hated you jerks. So he's totally mocking the whole thing.
So I need confirmation here because it kind of went over my head. But this elf dude with the ears, he was working with Gin or he was working with Harrison? I'm confused.
Well, wait a minute. Oh no, he was working with Periston. Periston wants to know what Gin's abilities are.
Right.
So he's working with Periston. So this is a scripted out event for Periston.
So then this elf guy dude, he was acting like he wanted to kill him just so Gin's abilities would be seen.
Yeah, so he'd use them. So I mean that's Periston's. I mean that's a long way to go, isn't it? I love that.
At least it worked a little bit.
Periston is an untamed beast, isn't he? This guy is. I love the face they draw on there too. I never not hated you jerks. I believe it was like this. And
so, can we assume then when Ging took out those guys with the blast through the wall and everything, that all of that was Leorio's abilities? Because he says on the bottom of page 11, he says I went with it and fought them because I felt bad they had to act out that scenario of yours. The next time, come to yourself if you want to see what my ability is. That is, he wants my abilities. So meaning that everything he did here was Leorio's?
Well, he has some ability to copy their abilities.
Right. Well, like I'm saying, like that whole thing when he traces the ground, he put his hand on the ground, he put his hand on the walls, all of that should theoretically be what Leorio can do, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, remember he hit him because he hit. Well, you remember, right, that when Leorio hit Gin, right?
Actually, I don't remember that, but that happened.
Remember when Gon got revived and he went back in to meet his father and he was acting like a jerk, and Leorio hit like a table, and then it went like this other table and hit Gin right into the chin.
Oh, really? I forgot about it.
It was during the voting voting part when they had to do their speeches.
It should be coming up in the anime.
Yeah, but it's the same. Well, no, it would.
It was near the end of the election.
But it already.
So Gin pretty much has an ability that copies any Nen ability that like hits him, or not Nen.
That's what he says.
He can imitate it.
Like
He can mimic it.
Well, let's just make sure this is what he told Periston. Now, if that's a partial truth, is that the whole truth? I don't know. Or is it bullshit? Maybe he just had that. I mean, who knows? So maybe he just saw the ability and didn't, and actually learned how to use it later. I don't know. I mean, maybe with Leorio, how do you do that later? I mean, you know what I mean? Because I don't trust anything Gin or Periston says at all. These guys are too good of liars. So, but let's see. So they're talking about, and then we get into the whole thing about. So these guys are basically this crew that went and failed the exam. They're like ex-military, is what they are, and they were in a unit together. So, a battle joint type emitter mech, right? One creates the mech and the gun, and the other powers the big gun. And it was, and this is in the, in there, but I'll go ahead. Created during the Lubo Civil War, an 11-man Stonewall squad, and without losing a single casualty during this Lubo Civil War, which is pretty amazing, right? And then, of course, Golem's Wave. Let me go ahead and get back into the chapter. And that looks pretty awesome. I didn't expect a mech-looking thing. That's amazing. You see the seat in there with the gun? So I guess just any of those emitters or something can hop in there.
What page are we again?
Oh, I'm jumping ahead. It's page 13. It's
Okay.
the one that has the mech on top, and it's like, oh, he'll be handling the shooting. And he says, oh, a joint time now. He materializes a powerful heavy weapon, which is manned by an emitter type who creates the bullets. By doing so, their power becomes much greater than it would be separately. So that's a big gun.
Yeah, it's huge.
That's crazy. And then, of course, the mystery is who the heck is gone, and what is his motivation? What's his story? You know. So who is this? Is it a girl? Is it a kid? You know? Is it? I mean, is it an old guy? I mean, who is this person in there, and what's their story? It's gonna be awesome. And somebody that doesn't like to talk, so is hiding whatever they are. They're hiding it, right? And again, actually loved it. It's totally into it. Let's see.
So there's
Oh,
somebody inside the mech?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, somebody's created the mech.
Oh,
So, see,
Yeah, I
see,
didn't know
it's
that
a
either.
duel. Yeah. If you read it, it's a duel. So one person creates the mech, and then when they're ready to go into fire mode, if you notice, there's nothing there on the left arm.
yeah,
Then
I
they
saw that.
create the weapon on the left arm, and then with a seat, so an emitter can go in there and use their power solely to create the bullets.
Huh.
So that's the big freaking gun.
Well, shows how much I pay attention.
Now, the whole thing, the only thing about this that the whole thing about the money here completely broke down to me. If you're mercenaries and you do things for money, why this was an insult, completely whatever. But anyway, so I thought a lot of this was dialogue that was pretty meaningless to me. I understand at the end that these people are loyal, they're not doing things for money, fine, whatever. And then we find out there's a thing to donate to, the Noel Foundation for the military and all this. And I mean, the important thing is what they're this is complicated, isn't it? Gin is number 2, right? But Mulhel, anytime there's combat, Mulhel's like, I lead it. You do what I say, right? And Pariston, and even Gennett there is like, well, Pariston, if you want it, he's like, no, I'm gonna hold back, and basically watch you fail is what I'm gonna do. So Pariston versus Ging is just, my God, this is only gonna get better. And I have a note about making the hangout on Thursdays, and then we're here. So what do you guys think? Awesome chapter. It was a big chapter. There's a lot in there. Like I said, for me, the whole thing about whether they get paid or not was kind of like waste panels, but let's open it up.
I have a question with the whole money situation. Do you think it's just um is it the same way how he was manipulating the voting? Remember how he made his rules of being in the committee? Do you think that when he was talking about the money situation is kind of like that? He just throws off to throw off people?
I understand why Ginn wants to pay people money so he has power over them, okay, or gets in commitment. I don't understand why these military guys are getting all. If you're mercenaries, you're getting paid to go kill people or whatever. I'm sorry, I don't. So I can't understand they're getting all pissy about it. I don't understand that. But sure, I mean, if somebody wants to get control over something, there's nothing like paying out money.
I think they're more careful of it. I think they're like thinking to themselves like, why Ging is throwing away all this money? It must be for a reason. So I guess they're kind of like iffy with it.
Yeah, like I say, I don't understand their motivation. But anyhow, it was a big chapter. There was a lot in there. Surely there's got to be Anthony. Is there anything about this chapter you want to go back over? Or there's a lot of stuff in here.
I mean, it would not have surprised me if if it would have turned out that he secured the number 2 spot. It wouldn't surprise me if he would have just like gave it up right afterwards, because I mean, look what he did when he became chairman.
Yeah.
Like, it's like he just wanted like the challenge of becoming that. It's like he doesn't even really care. And then when Jing at the end says, my title is only a name alone, I'll let you take the lead. He's like, no, I'll just stay back. I just want to see how you handle it. It's it's all a big game to him.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to, and I love that about his character.
Well, so far, Gin has been able to keep getting over on Pariston. And I have to say, with all this stuff going on, I can see how most people wouldn't be able to keep up with Pariston. He's sneaky, he's S-level sneaky. This dude's way up there.
I think Pariston's just like testing the waters right now. I don't really think we've seen him serious.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's what's so exciting about this.
Yeah,
He's just getting his feet wet.
Yep.
Well,
He's
Michael,
just creeping around.
What do you got for this chapter here? Any
Well, after them talking about all this money, I'm wondering how much money, Ging gets paid a year, and Pariston, do you remember from the previous chapter that the guy had the guy give him his account number, and then he paid him the money, and he found out that the amount of money that he wanted was enough to pay for his his sister's medical bills for like 6 lifetimes.
Yeah.
Geez, that's a lot of money.
Well, I don't have a problem
loaded.
with the money because Gin is. Let's remember, he was He was an archaeological guy. They even said a long time ago. What I don't know what he does to make his money, but I think that money's not an issue with him.
Yeah, that guy's loaded.
Well,
He
he's
would
loaded.
excavate and then restore like ruins.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I think his wealth is just unbelievable. That's one of the things about the 100. But I think also, as we've all seen, part of it's because he's a genius. So if he puts, I mean, Greed Island, all these projects this guy's worked on, crazy.
I think Gin is the type to like he'll secure money just to use it tactically, and he'll live like off the land.
Yeah.
He won't even use any of the money. He'll just survive by himself. Live in not so luxurious settings, and he'll save all the money to use it for like negotiations and things like that. Probably.
Yeah, because money doesn't seem to have any power over him, so it's just a tool for him.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, a person who cannot be swayed by money is a dangerous person. I'll tell you what, because there's not many people like that in the world. And, at the end of the day, it comes down to a lot of people, if all else fails, just throw money at them. And you can't do that with King. And that's what makes him, it just makes him extremely interesting and dangerous to me, at least.
Yeah, I like him.
Money is like the symbol of power, so if you don't want money, it must mean that you grasp power in some way, shape, or form.
Did you guys hear about that thing that his editor said?
No, what?
It was in I think it was in Forever Worlds. He brought up this or it wasn't a review. It was an article to the Hunter x Hunter editor saying that like in the next, I don't know if he said it was the next chapter or coming soon, it was going to be like he said it was going to be like there was some moment coming up that was going to be I think he said one of the top 3 shocking moments in the series or something like that.
I heard that from Neverworld, yeah.
Yeah, I want to know what that is. Does anyone have any theories? About
well, I want to know what
or...
the other two were that Togashi would have. Because I'd like to know what were the other 2 that were, top 3 to compare it with.
Well, I think Ging's going to end up killing Pariston.
I thought it was going to be the other way around, to be honest.
Yeah, I think shocking would be Ging getting killed.
I was thinking that also.
I really hope that doesn't happen, though.
It's too early for Ging to get killed. We don't know anything about him.
Yeah, well, he did that to Kite. I mean, look how much... I mean, he was an awesome character, and they just took him out. Like that.
Yeah,
he didn't reach his full potential at all,
I know, but Kite was more of like, a helper of Gon's father, and, just a regular hunter that was, pretty powerful with, history. Ging is different. Ging is like, he's a guy that has like the master plan. He's a manipulator. He's hyped to be like insanely strong, and I don't think it'll go anytime soon.
To make progress, instead of knocking ideas down, let's go ahead and like NW order. What do you? I don't know if you've heard this before, or thought about it, but let's get what everybody thinks it might be. What, if you don't mind, NW order? What do you think that? What do you think that moment would be?
Well, first of all, I'm not knocking anybody's ideas. I'm just giving my opinion on, the possibility of Ging, being killed off.
That it wouldn't be. I know. Yeah. But I mean, what do you think will happen?
What I think probably is the shocking thing that's going to happen is that, like, the state of, like, everything we know it to be is going to be, like, flipped. Like that just chaos, like unimaginable chaos is like gonna, just spring forth from this island and affect the entire world. As opposed, because I think a lot of people are probably gonna think that like we're gonna go to the Dark Continent and be there for a while. But like the shocking thing that's gonna happen is that a lot of stuff is gonna happen in the Dark Continent and spill out into the Hunter x Hunter world and like turn everything upside down. Kind of like something crazy happening. That's my prediction. I don't think anybody's going to die.
Okay. Well. Anyway, Anthony, do you have any idea what that moment? You said it is supposed to be a moment. It's one of the top 3 shocking moments so far in Hunter x Hunter. Do you have any idea what that moment could be? I mean, were you thinking compare? Is it I mean, anything. So.
Well, I guess the only thing I think of is kind of in the line with what Mike said about. I think there's going to be something off about the Dark Continent. I mean, we've heard all this stuff about the 5 calamities, about what may be there, what may not be there, history of all the voyages that have gone there, and all the results of what happened, of those voyages. I think we have this preconceived notion of how the Dark Continent is going to be. And I think they're all going to get there, and it's going to be wildly different from what they all expect, and it's going to be crazy. I don't quite know what it is, but it's something to do with the Dark Continent and what's there and what happens as soon as they set foot on land, or what they see, or something about that. So that's the only thing I can think of. I'm
not getting anything specific so far, but I mean.
No,
Michael,
I mean it's.
Well, just moving it along. Michael Gethman, is there anything you think? I mean, a moment. You did say a moment. Do you have any idea what that moment could be, Michael Gethman?
Well, if something has to do with the Dark Continent, maybe they're gonna find out that Satan lives there or something really deep like that, and that he has this plan to take over the world. I don't know.
Yeah. Sean, do you have any idea what this top 3 big moment, surprising moment could be, Sean?
What, between Ging and Bob Barker?
No. It's supposed to be the quote was something in the series so far. The quote was that you're going to have one of the top 3 most surprising, shocking moments of the series will happen. Bob Barker. I do it. The sparklier Bob Barker.
I guess one artifact that's there that's not supposed to be messed with, I guess somebody messed with, and it casts like a bigger shadow, and then I guess that's all I could think of. But I was going to say that what I'm thinking, I think Ging and Pariston is going to work together somehow to fight off whatever it is that was messed with or tampered with. I'd rather see that happen than one of them get killed off.
There is a fear in this series that could happen, though, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Steve? What do you think?
Ging getting killed, I still like. I think it would be, but to be honest, he says top 3. I think Ging getting killed would be like 1. So maybe it's going too big.
Well,
that'd be like the number 1 most shocking moment Me,
I'd like to see Ging punch Pearson in the face just once. I'd just like to see that.
Are you that? Or would you just like to see anybody punch Pearson?
No, Ging, because
Ging?
they're both doing the psychological battle, but Ging's a lot cooler about
Harrison would probably get some sick thrill out of it.
it.
He'll
He's
probably
like the
laugh.
Joker, man.
Yeah. Harrison, like, just give me a moment to put my ball gag in my mouth while you hit. So. Harrison's not. It's not like. I mean, yeah. I mean, Harrison's got the whole pain, love, everything's first with this guy. So.
Yeah, he's a twisted son of a gun.
Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that Harrison is like loyal to Beyond, or that he's using Beyond like a puppet?
I don't think Harrison's loyal to anything but Harrison. I don't think.
Yeah. I think Pearson's his own person.
Because there's two ways they can go with this. They can go with Harrison being put, like, as vice chancellor simply because it was a way to control Beyond. Like, that could have been, the old man's real objective. Like, as long as he had Harrison, he could keep a lid on his son or something. Or they could go the way where, like, Harrison just secured, Beyond as a means to getting to the Dark Continent himself. But I mean, like, it would be interesting if they made like Harrison and Beyond have some type of relationship where Beyond was kept in check because Harrison was under the chairman's watch, something to that effect.
I was gonna add something to what you was gonna say, like. Well, actually, you just said it already, so never mind. He was keep him in check. Yeah, like I guess Netero probably seen this happening. Like, everybody's going to the Dark Continent, and the only person that can check Beyond is Pearson. So that's why you made him chairman.
All right. Well, since I think we've kind of sort of slid into predictions. Maybe already we've talked about what's going to happen in the future, like this. But let's officially go. Let's officially go ahead and go there, if you guys don't mind. Okay. Yeah. Well. Okay, Sean, if you want to go first, let's get everybody's predictions for the next chapter, just the future in Hunter X Hunter. Anyhow.
I was just adding along. What?
Oh, I'm sorry if I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's fine. I was just adding what he was saying, that Pearson is being his own person, but I guess Netero probably seen this happening. Everybody's going to the Dark Continent, and the only person that can actually put Beyond in check is Pearson. So he's probably playing as a double agent right now. Since he's playing a lot psychologically, he's doing the double agent as well. He's just he's just a manipulator all around.
All right, Anthony, predictions?
I can't think of anything prediction-wise. I guess I could say I really want to, like, out of everything in this arc so far, I really want to learn more about this prince of Kaiken. Is that what it is, Kaiken?
Yeah. The fourth prince.
Yeah, he.
One that likes eyes.
Yeah, he's such a. Oh man.
Yes.
I want to know more about him. I think he's
Hannibal Lecter.
We don't know anything about him, and he's so. Oh man, he's the most interesting thing about this arc so far, besides the whole dynamic between Pearson and Jing, which was happening before this arc started. So. I guess I just want to see more from him,
The one that likes to skin evidently likes to skin women alive.
Yeah, unless they have an interesting story to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all for me.
Good grief, man! Talk about dark. Whoa. All right, Michael Gaffin. What do you got? Any predictions or anything about the future of Hunter X Hunter?
No, not really any predictions.
What do you want to see? What do you want to see?
Do you guys think that Pearson's stronger than Ging?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
See, that's the reason why I think Ging's going to kill Periston, because I think Ging's stronger than Periston. All Periston can do is talk.
Well, he keeps being ahead of Periston.
Yeah.
And he's probably more powerful than he is, so hopefully I have to say that Periston getting killed would make a lot of people are ready for Periston to get killed. But we haven't seen his abilities, and I have a feeling that Periston's going to get a lot more effed up before he gets killed.
I want him to.
Oh.
He's already going down that path. Keep going.
Oh, isn't he though? My gosh.
Like I said, we need to know what Periston's role is. Is he a follower that's just like, doing acting like a stooge, or is he like a mastermind that's using Beyond to his advantage? Once we find that out, we can predict what's going to happen to him.
I think if they reveal him to be like some kind of follower, it would cheapen his character up to this point. Like, he's been built up as that mastermind. He needs to keep that in order for him to stay interesting, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I was saying, like he's playing like that double agent role. Like he could play the follower, but he has his own motive that when he has an opportunity, he'll take over.
He seems to like to use people as shields in front of him, doesn't he? It's like he wants whoever his target is or whatever to be in front of him, so he can undermine them below. That just seems to be the way it is, but he definitely seems to be. Well, anyway, the relationship between him and Beyond is interesting because maybe they really do get along. Who knows? I have no. It'd be pretty. There's always somebody that gets along with somebody. But anyway, NW Order, what are your predictions?
I don't really have anything that I can predict. I could make make a guess that the next chapter will have something to do with Gong. See how he's doing, and then also show preparations to go to the Dark Continent between Kurapika and everybody else, like getting ready to leave. But like really, I have no idea what's going to happen. I can just surmise that that's a possibility.
All right. Well, let me ask you. Wait a minute. Hold on. I want to ask you guys something. It seems like we've totally gone past that Chimera are going there. Evidently, they're bringing Chimera with them.
Right.
300 of them.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a whole other
5,000.
I don't remember the exact number. I thought it was.
You know what's going to happen, right? With that.
What's going to happen with that?
What's going to happen is the Chimera are the enemies from the last arc. The Chimera ants.
Yeah.
Scary enemies, right? They were freaky. They had powers like humans, stronger, right? So what I'm assuming is going to happen is that Togashi is going to use them as sacrifices to show us how scary the Dark Continent is. We'll see like all the Chimera ants like just get slaughtered or wiped out, and it'll just be a means to show us how much more scary the Dark Continent is.
All these chimeras are just human, kind of turned into chimera, though, aren't they? The ones that were in the trees.
Well, they have their essence, but remember, some of them remember who they were before, some don't.
Yeah, but I think all of them are more or less like Palm than like Yukago or Bravado.
Well,
I guess
I don't know which is more of, but they're all different, different levels, it seems.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sean.
Well, anyway.
The thing you need to consider as a writer is that everything has, every character has a purpose. Whether it's to, be a hero, be a villain, or be a sacrifice, it all has to, advance the plot or whatnot. So, like having 300 Chimera or whatever it is, they have to have a reason to be there. We know they're not going to be like these epic soldiers that can take on the Dark Continent. So I mean, I'm just deducing that they're probably going to be used to display its power.
It's a good theory too. I think you're on something.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Has anybody ever thought of the Chimera ants stay inside that white bubble thing? Do you think they're gonna hatch before they get to the Dark Continent?
I'm sure they're already hatched. I'm sure they're already out. They're out and being trained already, I would imagine. One of the things that I am is what relationship is does Kite? Kite is right now queen of the Chimera ants, at least the ones that from this area here, royalty, right? The last of the royal family of the Chimeras. Is Kite involved with this? Are they following Kite? Is Kite a Chimera leader? Right?
Is
Yeah.
Kite or is Kite adopting that
How much of
that
Kite is
chimera?
Kite?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, all these are good questions.
I think Kite has to play some kind of role in this arc, right? I mean, they're bringing the chimeras along. Kite has to be there, right?
It's a possibility.
I
Like I
mean, why?
said,
I mean, why even keep the character around, or at least that persona, if he's not going to do anything with it? Like Mike just said, each character has to play a role. You know, obviously he has a role to, or she, I should say.
right. Her Highness,
Yeah.
the Queen. So, yes, these are all possibilities.
I'm really excited about Morel being involved in this arc because he was like my favorite character out of the Clarion arc.
Yeah, me too.
I really love, oh, of the hunters at
Yeah.
least. I love his character so much.
Yeah, everybody likes Morel, and everybody feels like a lot of sympathy for Nav. Holy cow, Nav got trashed.
Poor guy.
He got trashed without even being touched, actually.
The aura.
Well, he felt it
got
now.
him.
Aura just corrupted
It
him.
was Poof's aura. Poof's aura that messed him up.
What was it? Poofs or?
Yeah, it was Poof's because that was when Pito was healing the king with his arm, and Poof took over.
I thought it was Pete though, because
No, it was Poof. I just
All right,
watched the
well,
episode recently. But anyway,
Okay.
Yeah.
We can move on from that. But yeah, I thought it was that. All right. Well, anyway, so in other words, we have a lot of awesome stuff potential to go to, right? A lot of stuff. We do, which is really enjoyable, isn't it?
What do you think is going to happen that's going to shock everybody, Steve?
Well, anyway, like I said, my guess was Gin, but or Ging, however everyone pronounces it. But the only thing is that would be like a #1 shocking moment. So it wouldn't be like just a top 3. So I don't know. I really don't know. It's but then again, Anthony just brought that up, so that's something for us definitely to think of, especially for next week if I think of it. You know. So also,
That's supposed to happen next week?
no, in the arc. That's what you said, Anthony. In this arc.
yeah, I think he said soon. I don't believe he said in the next chapter. It was a vague time.
Okay.
It was like kind of vague.
Okay, so maybe this arc, whatever. And who knows how long this arc's going to be.
I assume pretty long, so.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do more looking as far as nin abilities, enhancers, and transmuters. I'm going to try when I look at this to try to make sure I get people lined up. Because I really love how everything was set up in here. All right, well, this is about it. There's a lot more I guess we could talk about, but we might have squeezed all the toothpaste out for this week, at least here. Was there any questions? Was there any questions that we didn't answer or get to in here or take a shot at, or anything still kind of, anybody want to bring up before we go and close out?
We talked about this one time, but how do you think? I remember I said that I don't think that Gon and Killua would get sent to the Dark Continent until later on, or even not be sent to it, and the Dark Continent just ends up coming to their shores. So, what do you guys think about that? Do you think Gon and Killua will go to the Dark Continent, or do you think that like I said, at some point, some kind of evil is going to spill from it, and Gon and Killua are going to end up like getting caught up in it?
Well, at least for now they can't, right? Because they're both. I mean, this is what's interesting. It isn't just that one of them's locked up in a bad situation. Both are. Killua is with Aluka, right? He said he's going to stay with her forever, unless Aluka is now going to be traveling with them, right? So that's the only way that Killua can get out of that. And then Gon might be a whole arc to get his powers back or something. I don't know. But the idea, I think you've mentioned to other people that possibly a lot of bad things will happen, and maybe even a time skip or something, so that Killua and Gon are older. There's a lot of possibilities there, sure.
I don't foresee Gon
or being part of the arc. It doesn't look like it, does it?
Well, I mean, I don't foresee seeing them have a main role in anything until the whole stuff with Gyro comes up. you know, in Meteor City, because I mean, we all know that's coming, right? It's got to be coming eventually.
Well, yeah.
Or,
Well,
or is that kind of just like a guess? I mean, it seemed like it from that chapter, or whatever chapter it was, when they showed his backstory. And,
well, the bad thing with Gyro is we don't have enough to know how he's going to. We just know he hates the world and humanity. Just, I mean.
well, I feel like he put enough of a emphasis on him at the time.
Yeah.
That he's gonna play a big role.
Yeah,
at
he
some
is. The
point.
problem is we just don't have enough to make guesses. It doesn't seem like a Gyro.
No, we don't. Yeah, you're right. But I'm just saying, I think that's probably one.
Yeah, it's
that
going
I
to be
don't.
something big later on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a Chimera Ant, which is, you know, where we can see what his abilities are and all that. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, so we got all kind of stuff going on. That seems to be about it. Like I say, the last call. Anything you guys want to bring up? Was there anything you want to bring up at all before we can close this out?
The more I think about it, the more I think it would be amazing. Like if what the big surprise is if the world just turns to hell, like the entire world turns to hell. And then I like what you said about time skip. Like the world turns to hell, Gon and Killua are like in hiding or something, and then we see them again as men, and like, you know, try to fight off this great evil, you know, as men. That would be pretty sick.
Yep, I agree.
Yep.
Apocalypse.
Right. Well, and like I said, and we were talking about before, was like it's possible there could be a barrier in. I like where this is going. So yes, it's all very possible. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. I appreciate you guys are awesome. I look forward to these every time. I enjoy the chapters and watching the episodes. What I say in the back of my mind is always getting in these hangouts and talking to you guys, especially clarifying and getting stuff that's from different sources and just to understand this better. Because with Togashi, there's always more. All right. Once again, I appreciate everybody. Go ahead and close this thing out. Until next time, take care.